Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. We have Maggie Berghoff talking about intermittent fasting for adrenal fatigue and aging. So, question number one.
Well, let's talk about when you think that, intermittent fasting is great. And then when you think, there are certain times in your life where you should just put intermittent fasting to bed for a little while. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I think fasting is amazing for the mitochondrial benefits, also for structure. A lot of my busy entrepreneurs, it really helps them to really structure their day. So I do think that it helps with a lot of things that people are worried about, such as energy, weight loss, and so forth. The one part that I would say to kind of hold back on is if you are in a severe state of autoimmune disease, or like you're waking up and you're so tired you can hardly drag to get through the day, put a pause on intermittent fasting. And actually, I would just rather you wake up, nourish your body, think of what you can add in to boost nutrient levels, to get energy, to help your thyroid health, instead of waiting for that meal, because you're waking up on E and we don't want to put you further down on E. We want to actually fuel your body.
So, question number two.
If you had to give kind of your top 5 tips on fatigue and just that brain fog, what would be those tips for people?
Number 1, get testing done to know why you are tired, why you have brain fog, and don't just blame it on because you have kids or because you're stressed at work. Because if those things are present, that stress that is maybe causing the fatigue in your mind, there's definitely damage that has been done inside. So we need to know what damage is done so we can help you to get energy again to feel better.
So what tests do you usually do on people when you see them that kind of shows you, these are like some of the options where you go, okay, here's a red flag, here's a red flag, here's a red flag?
Well, one in this particular instance related to fasting and metabolic rates is a food intolerance, or a NutriVal panel. Actually, I do food intolerance tests as well, but the NutriVal panel that I do will test your metabolic and your energy cycles. So we can see exactly at what points there may be abnormalities that is keeping your ATP energy cycle from functioning fully. So when we know exactly what's going on there, are you a slow metabolizer, a fast metabolizer, or balanced, do you have aluminum toxicity, etc., we can address those things.
Okay. And expand on that. What is the ATP that you're talking about?
Great. So ATP is the energy cells of our body. So mitochondria house the energy of our body. ATP produces energy. So when our body is stressed out, that energy cycle cannot function fully. So the best thing to do if you are fatigued or have adrenal fatigue or have brain fog is to allow your body not to stress out. So taking out the stressors, and it's not just psychological, it can be like environmental. It could be stress from the water you're drinking or stress from the food you're eating. Maybe it's stress from the amount of times a day you eat, and that's where intermittent fasting may come in. Possibly for that person, if we see from testing like what their actual inside is doing, their biochemical individuality, maybe their body is so stressed out just trying to eat their food and break it down and absorb it. And we need to give their body pauses in times of period that they don't have to break down the food. Because if the body's not focusing on breaking down that food, it can focus its energy towards healing your body.
And so would you say stress is the number one reason why people have issues with ATP?
That is one of the core ones. It's hard to say what the key thing is because it usually is a combination. It's, maybe they're stressed and also they're binge eating and also they're not sleeping correctly and also they're, surrounding themselves with negative friends. So it's usually a combination of things that's really causing the energy reserves of the body to go down.
Hey guys, if you want to try one of these necklaces, if you want to try any of these EMF tools, go to essentialenergy.us and use coupon code ChantelRay for a huge discount. That's essentialenergy.us. So you guys know I've interviewed women all across the country that have been naturally thin their whole life with no dieting, no gimmicks. I interviewed over 1,000 women. I asked them, what'd you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And they told me everything. And so I actually have written 4 books now with all of these insights. I have put their secrets all right there. And so if you're tired of just the diet roller coaster and you just cannot lose that weight, I have a book called Waste Away. That's the very first one. That's how I break down how I discovered intermittent fasting, how it changed my body, and how thin eaters, they don't even call it intermittent fasting. They just do it. Fasting to Freedom is another book I wrote. It goes deeper. It's more into the spiritual and emotional side of fasting. It brings clarity and confidence, and it really kind of teaches you how to do a little bit longer fasting. Then I have One Meal and a Tasting. It's my most practical guide. It just walks you step by step through how you can live a sustainable fasting lifestyle and literally the exact things that these women did while enjoying the foods you love. And then finally, a Bible study that's called Freedom from Food. And this is like a 6-week study that you can do with a group of friends. It's really fun to do with a group. These books are the complete bundle. So if you go to chantelrayway.com, we're actually doing one free giveaway for the complete bundle. So if you go to our Facebook group, it's the Intermittent Fasting and OMAD group, make sure you join. We're going to do a free contest for a free bundle for one lucky person. But if you want it right away, just grab the free bundle. It's the cheapest it's ever been because we want you to get your breakthrough, your body, your rules, your breakthrough. chantelrayway.com. And question number 3.
What is the window that you suggest people do when they, let's say they're not pregnant and they didn't just have a baby? What is the fasting window that you think is the most beneficial?
Well, I think to keep it simple, choosing 8 hours that are best for your schedule is a really good place to start. 8 hours to eat. So if you wake up, because you have to get to work at 6 a.m., so you're waking up maybe at 5 a.m. or something, your eating window may be different than somebody else who wakes up at 8 a.m. because you may be needing energy quicker than those people. Similarly, if you are home, ready to wind down at 4 p.m., that may be an okay dinner time, whereas some people get home, at 9 p.m. So it really just depends on the person. But I would say choose 8 hours choose when you want to start eating and say that's 11 o'clock. And this is typical for me. When I am intermittent fasting, usually I do 11 to 7. So at 11 o'clock, I have my first meal. 7 o'clock, I have my last meal. It's a couple hours before bedtime. And then I plan within that time. I don't just eat, and I wouldn't recommend just eat whatever you want within those 8 hours. That's not how it works. We still need to just focus on eating normal, balanced meals within that time. And of course, that are nourishing. But that's the best, dip your toes in the water kind of thing. And then one upgrade from that, I would recommend playing around with even a weekly water fast or liquid fast where you are giving your gut a total break that day from digesting actual food.